Hello everyone, Castle Queenside here. Today we have another great game on our hands. This one was played between two lesser known players, between Babula Vlastimil, a grandmaster from Czech Republic, and Kovacevic Aleksandar, who was playing with black, and he's a grandmaster from Serbia. This game was played in German championships, a really strong league. And what is interesting about this game is that black actually created a really beautiful attack and a great tactic, so that is the reason why I'm showcasing you this game. My motto is that any game that has a nice tactic, a nice win, or is generally educational, I want to show it in my videos. And when you look at it, even with stronger grandmasters, someone has to make a mistake for someone else to win, and that is the reason why I think this game is worth it, and I think you will enjoy it. So let's go straight into the game. The game started with d4, knight f6 for Kovacevic, c4 for Babula, and e6 for black. Knight f3 and d5 for the black was played. So this is already a queen's gambit declined. Knight c3 was played for Babula, and bishop b4 was played for Kovacevic, so this is the Ragozin defense of queen's gambit declined. Queen e4 check. This is the Alekhine variation, and this is not so common move in chess games. So the black continued. Now it's a double attack. The white attacks this bishop on b4 and attacks, of course, the king with the check. So now black simply defends it with knight c6. e3 was played for the white. Developing move, nothing special about this. And castle kingside for the black. The white continues with queen c2, returning the queen to its original destination, because in this sort of positions this is where the queen usually goes. Since there is no more threat on b4, rook e8, normal logical move for black, taking this e-file, bishop d2, and a6 for the black, now with the idea to move the bishop back and to have enough free space, because this bishop on b4 can be trapped if the black is careless. So now white continues with a3, black returns to bishop d6, h3, and now h6 for the black, again awaiting moves from both players. C takes on d5, e takes on d5, and bishop d3 was played for the white. So obviously that white wants to create some sort of a threat and attack on the black king, and bishop e6 was played for the black. The next move for white was castle queenside actually, so computer doesn't like this move. He recommends castling kingside, but of course this is the computer. Idea of white is to just attack on the black king, and in sort of positions where there is opposite castles, the one attacks the other one's king. So that's the idea here. So bishop d7 now for the black. The idea was to stop e4 from pushing here, because now it is protected from three pieces here, from the rook, from the pawn, and from the knight on f6. g4. So already white is preparing an attack. That's obvious, since he had a castle queenside. He's trying to launch his pieces towards the black king, and the black responds with a great move. Of course, b5 was played. So one of the ideas from h6, apart from putting the bishop to safety, was of course pushing b5 and creating a counter attack on the white king. g5, the white continues to push. H takes on g5 and knight takes on g5. The idea for white in this position was to open this g file, which he succeeded, of course. And now b4 for black. Another great move. In this position, the white took this pawn. The game continued with knight takes on b4, and now there is a fork on the queen and on this bishop. The queen moved to b1 in the game. There was no other option for white in this position, because the only move he can maybe try is bishop h7, but this doesn't work because simply the king goes on f8, and now queen has to go on b1 with better play for white in this position. So that is the reason why white immediately went queen b1. The game continued with knight taking on d3 with a check, queen d3, and queen c8. Already creating some threats. Black is already the strongest move for black in this position is bishop f5, and I will now show you why. So in the game, knight d5 was played, which is the strongest move in this position. The white sacrifices his piece to have an advantage of putting his queen on h7 square, which will not be guarded when the black takes this knight. So this was the idea behind this move, but I will now show you, for example, if after queen c8, if the white decides to ignore this move and just play something random, and from the first looking something really good, rook h to g1, just taking this diagonal, already this is a much better position for black, because now after bishop f5 there is no free spaces for the queen to go except maybe e2 or f1. So let's say the white queen goes on e2, the queen goes on b7, and already after a rook to b8 huge threats are coming for white, and this game is really hard to play as white. It's practically a losing position. After knight d5, we will see what would happen if the black instead decided to go bishop f5. Then the game would continue with knight takes on f6 check, g takes on f6, e4, and bishop g6 with a slightly better play for black. And this is the position that would transpire. The white decided he didn't want to play this sort of position and wanted to go all the way and commit to this knight. So after knight takes on d5, queen h7 was played, obviously to put a threat on the black king. King went on f8, e4 was played for the white, and now knight goes on f4. In this position, queen h8 was played. But I wanted to show you some other possibilities that the white had. For example, if he played the natural move after knight f4 instead of queen h8, if he played e5, this would be a devastating loss for white, because right now the black has a tactic with knight e2 check. The king has to go on white square somewhere. Let's say he goes on c2, then there is a bishop f5 with a double attack both on the king and on the queen, and the white queen will fall. So that is why attacking this bishop was not an option and advancing in the center. After queen h8 check, the king went on e7. The game continued with queen takes on g7. So now after queen takes on g7, there is a threat of queen taking the pawn on f7. So that is why the black first plays in between move knight e2 check, king b1, and now protects this pawn with bishop e6. e5 was played. So right now the white managed to trap this black bishop because he doesn't have any free squares to go. The game continued with rook b8. Right now Kovacevic is putting pressure on b-file and already creating some sort of threats towards the white king, as this is his only option right now in this position. Trading will not do him any good. The only thing he can do right now is to try and put up a solid attack on the white king. E takes on d6, c takes on d6. Now after knight takes on f7, there is really a beautiful combination for black that wins on the spot. Can you spot the winning move for black in this position? The winning move is queen c2 check. The white king doesn't have many options. He can either take the queen or he can go to a1. If he goes to a1, there is a queen b2 checkmate. If he takes this queen, which happened in the game, then there is a beautiful bishop f5 checkmate. Truly an incredible checkmate, and such a great combination by black. So that is probably the reason why this happened until the end, because probably after queen c2 Babula probably saw what was going on and what will happen, but he decided to play this game until the end just for this beauty to be in the chess history as it is right now. But still, this is how the game ended, but this is not the end. I will show you right now, after knight takes on f7, what would happen if the black decided to take this knight. Then the game would continue with bishop g5, and in case a black king goes on d7, the game would continue with queen takes on f7 check, king c6, rook c1 check, knight takes on c1, rook takes on c1 check, king b6, rook takes on c8, and rook b takes on c8. So this would be the situation that would transpire after this set of moves, and this game is much better for white. The white is practically winning here. So this was the one variation after bishop takes on f7 if the king goes on d7. But what after bishop g5 if the black king decides to go on e6, for example? Then the continuation is d5 check, king d7, queen takes on f7 check, rook e7, and queen takes on e7 checkmate. So there is another variation here. If the king decides to go on e6, we continue with d5, and if the black king decides to go on f5, then the game would continue with queen f6 check, king e4, and a beautiful f3 checkmate. So this was all for today's game. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment, like and subscribe, as this means a lot to me. I'm trying to grow my channel and it will help me a lot. And as always, we will see each other in the next video. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Bye bye.